I have had no issues attaching and detaching the Joy-Cons, the magnetic durability. Woo! Everyone has their feelings, their own personal feelings for the Switch 2. Some people love Mario Kart World and love that they could play their old games on it. I just don't happen to be one of those people. I'm looking for new experiences. That's why consoles are made, for new experiences. I didn't want to buy a Switch 2 to be a port machine, you know, but it is what it is. Peace, everybody. It's an occasional gamer, and I just wanted to hop on real quick and give y'all my 1 month experience of using the Nintendo Switch 2. The Switch 2 is essentially a Mario Kart World box. That's all it has going for it. Beyond it being a hardware, improvement compared to the Nintendo Switch 1, the Switch 2, like what makes a console at the end of the day is the games, and there is not much to do on this. The Nintendo Switch 2 battery is hot garbage. Oh my goodness. You are going to get 2 to 3 hours of gameplay out of this console, which is pretty bad. Using the Nintendo Switch 2 for more than 10 minutes is super uncomfortable. It has the same design as the Switch 1. That is not a good thing because the Switch 1 is also uncomfortable to use, but it being heavier and bigger doesn't make it very comfortable to use. So if you want to use it for that 2 to 3 hours of playtime in handheld mode, you would have to purchase an accessory to get you some grips on the side of the Joy-Con. The battery is trash, but I will say the build quality of this thing is fantastic. I have had no issues attaching and detaching the Joy-Cons, the magnetic, durability. Woo! The magnetic ability for this Switch, including, the concerns of like bending the attachment when connecting these, is not a problem at all. I had no issues. The kickstand at the back, really nice, durable, and has held me down for the few times that I did use this in handheld mode. But as I said, what drives a console are the games, and Mario Kart World is just, I don't even know what to say, man. I can't necessarily say it's not my cup of tea because it is a good game, but Nintendo released an update to make a game that already has less features and not many online features, and like to take away features like hitting random would give you a 3-lap track when it comes to online. Nintendo took that out, so when you hit random online, it will most likely take you to the Mario Kart World experience of driving on the straightaways, which gameplay for Mario Kart World and the meta that is developing based on how the tracks are designed is really, really, really boring. You can race and try to front run, and you're like guaranteed to lose. Like, it doesn't matter how well I'm doing if I'm trying to aim for first, second place and I'm going guns blazing. Majority of the time, I get hit by like 3 red shells and then 3 blue shells. And then I drop to like 12th place. So meta-wise, gameplay-wise, and game design-wise, Mario Kart World is just very boring. Look at that. Console low battery. Great. What's new? Something that I was looking forward to was the addition of GameCube games for Nintendo Switch Online. And I haven't used it that much. Like, I messed with Soul Calibur 2 arcade for like one time because Soul Calibur 2 is a game that I've played extensively. So I didn't feel a really need to play that. I'm not interested in playing like Wind Waker. I already played that on the Wii U. F-Zero GX, I played that for a little bit because it's an amazing game. And newly added, literally just got added, Super Mario Strikers to the Nintendo Switch 2 Online. I have mixed feelings about Switch 2 because I was looking forward to GameCube on the Switch 2, hoping to find new experiences, and they're playing it safe. I owned and have played this game for years. Years and years and years. I've synced hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours into Mario Strikers. For this to be the game that they dropped for the 1 month Nintendo Switch 2 being out I feel like is disappointing. Like they're playing it safe, and I feel like Nintendo They always re-release a game, they revamp a game, and then eventually bring it to Nintendo Switch Online anyways. Like, Strikers for the Switch was a complete dud. Like, that game did not perform well in terms of, like, I don't know about sales or anything, but specifically for people being hyped for the game when it was announced. Yes, people are like, oh snap, Mario Strikers is back, yay, yippee. The game actually dropped and people hated it. Like, this game was very underwhelming, very, very, very underwhelming. As soon as it dropped is as soon as people lost interest to Mario Soccer on the Switch 1. And then for Nintendo Switch Online, they gave us Mario Strikers, the original, which is what we wanted in the first place. So they did the same thing with Mario 3D All-Stars, I think it was called, when they gave us Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and then Mario Galaxy. Shortly after that, Mario 64 was on Nintendo Switch Online, and Mario Sunshine is coming to Nintendo Switch Online GameCube. So that's going to be very underwhelming when that comes on, whenever that does, probably next. And then Mario Galaxy is the only game that people really got that bundle for. Like, that was the reason to get that game. So seeing that they sell us a game and then it dies shortly after, and it's like, hey, we could put this on Nintendo Switch Online anyways. It is, to me, a slap in the face. So my Nintendo Switch 2 experience has been quite boring and very underwhelming. Something that I would love to see is Fire Emblem Path of Radiance for the GameCube, because that is a GameCube game that I've wanted to play for a very long time, but that is also a GameCube game. That is like $200 in value. So when that comes to Nintendo Switch Online, the Nintendo Switch 2 will be goated for me. That's all I need. I want new experiences. I want to play new games, even though it is an old game for the GameCube, a new game to me. So that is something that I'm looking forward to. And I don't consider the games that came out as game key cards, which for the Switch 2, that game key cards just suck. People buying them for the third-party developers that are selling them, game key cards suck across the board. For those who don't know what a game key card is, it is a box that has a physical game on it that has no data on it, and you put it in your Switch 2 and you get a download from the store to use the physical cartridge. And those are performing very, 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 very poorly for third-party developers that have, put their money into getting their games on the Switch 2. The games that launched with the Switch being Street Fighter 6, Bravely Default, and Cyberpunk. Bravely Default is a game I played many, many years ago on 3DS. Am I interested in? Street Fighter 6, I'd rather play that elsewhere because I could buy it for cheaper on Steam. Speaking of sales, I am running a 60% off sale for my game, Donkey Runners. You can pick it up on Steam for the Steam Summer Sale. Hit the link in the description and check out Donkey Runners for the low $3. I bought a Switch for Nintendo first party experiences, and the first party experience that I do have being Mario Kart World, they are actively trying to mess up the community for that game. Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out in like a week and a half or so. I don't really care for Donkey Kong Bonanza, so I'm kind of just betting on getting better games and games that I'm interested in on Nintendo Switch Online for the GameCube, Path of Radiance being one of them. If the next game that comes out for the GameCube in a month or so, whenever they decide to drop, ends up being Mario Sunshine. You sold Mario Sunshine to us on the Switch 1. Don't put it as a highlight breakout game for the Switch 2. That's all I'm saying, man. Do better. Do better, Nintendo. So, yeah, that has been my Switch 2 experience. It is collecting dust. And Mario Kart World is an okay game that they are taking the fun out of. And Nintendo Switch Online is underwhelming. Buy it if you want. Don't buy it if you don't. Y'all like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share the video with your auntie, cousin, coworker, grandma, or your friend or anyone who is interested that you know of that want to buy the Nintendo Switch 2. Everyone has their feelings, their own personal feelings for the Switch 2. Some people love Mario Kart World and love that they could play their old games on it. I just don't happen to be one of those people. I'm looking for new experiences. That's why consoles are made, for new experiences. I didn't want to buy a Switch 2 to be a port machine, you know, but it is what it is. I just gotta wait, and hopefully they drop some new stuff. But until then, I will continue to play indie games. Appreciate y'all watching the video. God bless. Deuces.
I'm a gamer. I'm a straight up G. The occasional life is the life for me. We can play on Xbox, we can play on PC, but the occasional life is the life for me. I'm a gamer. YouTube entertainer. Get the information, make visual explainers. Pajama Sam, Freddy Fish, backyard basketball, roller coaster tycoon. Yeah, you know I had them all. Reader Rabbit, Habbo, but Nintendo Labo. You always calling Johns when you get four stocked. I'm on that double XP, call me Static Shock. Pass me the rock, obtaining berries can't be stopped. Got other MCs jumping out of shoes and socks. I'm on the clock, 120 FPS when I'm dark. I'm choosing Fox and Falco cause you know that is meta. If I don't get hit then I just might be better. I can game any day, it doesn't matter the weather. If we going outside, I said just bring a sweater. Getting over it, I don't need no feathers or tethers. It's GG, homie, got the nether, no pleather. I'm a gamer. I'm a straight up G. The occasional life is the life for me. We can play on Xbox, we can play on PC, but the occasional life is the life for me. I'm a gamer. YouTube entertainer. Get the information, make visual explainers.